Body composition, bioelectric impedance. The purpose of this for the bioelectric impedance test is to provide a figure of a user's body composition and in particular body fat. The equipment needed is a bioelectric impedance analyzer. It is a sophisticated scientific instrument. It is used in research and analysis. On a budget level, many bathroom type weighing scales are also available with a bioelectric impedance analyzer, which is two built-in foot pad electrodes on the base of a scale which the person stands on. A protocol. As a bioelectric impedance device measures the resistance of a body tissue to the flow of a small electrical signal, the person being measured should not be in contact with any other non-conducting surface. With legs apart and arms away from the body, some devices require a pair of electrodes are placed on the hand and the wrist, and another pair placed on the ankle and the foot, but usually opposite sides of the body, while other devices simply require you to stand on 2 foot plates, follow the instructions on your particular device. Coordination, alternate hand wall throw. The purpose, to measure a person's hand-eye coordination. The equipment needed for this, a tennis ball, a smooth solid wall, marking tape and a stopwatch. The protocol, a mark is placed a certain distance from the wall. The person stands behind the line and facing the wall. The ball is thrown from one hand in the underarm action against the wall and attempted to be caught with the opposite hand. The ball is then thrown back against the wall and caught with the initial hand. The test can continue for a nominated number of attempts or for a set time, example 30 seconds.
The purpose of the 50-metre sprint test is to determine acceleration and maximum running speed. The equipment required is measuring tape or mark track, stopwatch or timing gates, and code markers. The test involves running a single maximum sprint over 50 metres with time recorded. After a standard warm-up, the test will be conducted over 50 metres. The starting position should be standard, starting from a stationary position with a foot behind the starting line with no rocking movements.
The purpose of this test is to measure the strength of the chest muscle group. The equipment needed will be a bench and a bar and a variety of weights. First, the participant should warm up with 5 to 10 reps on a comfortable weight. Then they should do a heavier warm-up of 2 to 5 reps with 2 minutes rest in between. Then they should keep increasing the weight with 2 to 4 minute rest in between each lift until they reach their 1 rep max. The advantages of this test is the equipment is readily available in most gyms and is simple to perform. The disadvantages, however, a good technique is needed for the best score. This test allows people who are more experienced with a bench press to get better scores than people who are not.
Aerobic endurance, the bleep test. Equipment, flat, non-slip surface, marking cones, 20-metre measuring tape, bleep test audio music player and recording sheets. The procedure. This test involves continuous running between 2 lines 20 metres apart in time to recorded beeps. For this reason, the test is also often called the bleep or the beep test. The participants stand behind one of the lines facing the second line and begin running when instructed by the recording. The speed at the start line is quite slow. The subject continues running between 2 lines, turning when signalled by the recorded beeps. After about 1 minute, a sound indicates an increase in speed and the beeps will be closer together. This continues each minute or level if the line is reached before the beep sounds. The subject must wait until the beep sounds before continuing. If the line is not reached before the beep sound, the subject is given a warning and must continue to run to the line, then turn and try to catch up with the pace within 2 more beeps. The test is stopped if the subject fails to reach the line within 2 metres for 2 consecutive ends after a warning.
Sit-up test. The purpose of this test is to test the endurance and development of your abdominal muscles. Equipment needed is a mat and a stopwatch. The protocol involves lying on a mat with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, with your arms across your body. Raise yourself up to 90 degrees, return to the floor. Repeat this for 1 minute.
Reaction times. Ruler drop. The purpose is to measure reaction time, hand-eye quickness and attentiveness. The equipment: 1 metre long ruler or yardstick and a calculator. Procedure: the person to be tested stands or sits near the edge of the table, resting their elbow on the table so that their wrist extends over the side. The assessor holds the ruler vertically in the air between the subject's thumb and index finger, but not touching. Align the 0 mark with the subject's fingers. The subject should be indicated when they are ready. Without warning, release the ruler and let it drop. The subject must catch it as quickly as possible as soon as they see it fall. Record in metres the distance, and that is the test done.
The purpose of this test is to measure someone's agility. For this test you will need a flat non-slip surface, 8 cones, a stopwatch and an assistant. Once you have set up the cones, the participant should warm up before doing the test. Then they should lie down on the start line, and then when the assistant calls go, they should start the stopwatch, and once the participant has run the test and crossed the finish line, the assistant should stop the watch, and that will be their score.
The purpose of the stalk balance stand test is to assess the ability to balance on the ball of the foot. Equipment required is a flat, non-slip surface, stopwatch, paper and pencil. The procedure of this test is to remove the shoes and place the hands on the hips. Then position a non-supporting foot against the inside knee of the supporting leg. The subject is given 1 minute to practice the balance. The subject raises the heel to balance on the ball of the foot. The stopwatch is started as the heel is raised from the floor. The stopwatch is stopped if any of the follow occur. The hands come off the hips. The supporting foot swivels or moves in any direction. The non-supporting foot loses contact with the knee. The heel of the supporting foot touches the floor.
Flexibility. Sit and reach. The purpose of the sit and reach test is to test flexibility. The equipment needed is a sit and reach box, or alternatively a ruler can be used and a step or box. The procedure. This test involves sitting on the floor with legs stretched out straight ahead. Shoes should be removed and the soles of the feet are placed flat against the box. Both knees should be locked and pressed flat to the floor. The tester may assist by holding them down with the palms facing downwards and the hands on top of each other or by the side. The subject reaches forward along the measuring line as far as possible. Ensure that the hands remain at the same level, not one reaching further forward than the other. After some practice reaches, the subject reaches out and holds that position for 1 or 2 seconds while the distance is recorded. Make sure there are no jerky movements.
Power, vertical jump. The purpose of this test is to assess competitors' power when jumping in a vertical line. Equipment: measuring tape or marked wall and chalk for marking the wall. Protocol: the athlete stands side on to a wall and reaches up with a hand closest to the wall, keeping the feet flat on the floor. The point of the fingertips is marked or recorded. This is called the standing reach height. The athlete then stands away from the wall and jumps upwards, as high as possible, using both arms and legs to assist. The jumping technique can or cannot be used as a counter movement. Attempt to touch the wall at the highest point of the jump. The difference in distance between the standing reach height and the jump height is the score. The best of 3 attempts is recorded.